We have a tree full of nice-sized Bartlett pears that I will be canning whenever they get ripe. Maybe next weekend? Maybe the end of this week? I don't know. Depends how long it takes them to ripen. But in the meantime, over here in the kitchen, I have what I refer to as ugly pears. We got rid of a couple of tables of these to our niece, who's using them to make pear applesauce. But I'm going to make pear jam. So, over here, I'm cutting out the bad spots, taking out the cores, to peel them, and then you're supposed to chop them fine, put them with a couple tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Instead of making pear jam, it's more like pear puree for me. I have the lemon juice in there, so this looks like pear sauce, looks like baby food, and I'm just going to puree them in there. You're not supposed to, but I actually prefer it this way. When I made it the way the instructions call for, which is finely chopped pears, the pears tend to float to the top. I actually like this way instead. Like I said, it looks like applesauce, but it makes a really nice pear jam. As for the process of getting the pears ready for the blender, the first thing I do, melon baller comes in real handy for this. The first thing I do is to use a melon baller and cut off that blossom end there. Okay? Then I cut them in half. This is a nice one, that's why I'm showing you this. I cut them in half, and I will use the melon baller to take out the center. Okay? And then also, if you see this little line there, I use the melon baller to take that off as well. Then I'll take it over on this side, peel it. Yeah, this is tedious. Peel it with a paring knife and then stick the whole thing in the blender. I already have the lemon juice in there. They turn dark really fast, so I need to get them in with that lemon juice as quickly as possible. Your jam will only be as good as your pears are, so we want them fully ripe. We want them sweet. Some of these are still a little bit too green. They looked yellow to me this morning compared to the way they were yesterday. I might be hard-pressed to get 4 cups of really ripe pear pieces out of this. So now the process is exactly the same as it was for the grape jelly and for the strawberry jam. I mix a package of dry pectin in with that, bring it to a rolling boil, and then dump the sugar in all at once. Powdered pectin is in with the pear sauce, or the pear puree, I guess I should call it. I've got the 5 cups sugar ready to go. Now we just have to wait. It does look like applesauce, doesn't it, or pear baby food. And you see how it's lightened up? This is my 3rd jam or jelly video. First with strawberry, and then grape, and now pear. So you should be getting real familiar with what a full rolling boil looks like. So tell me, is that a full rolling boil? Can't be stirred down. It is indeed. Good. Okay, let's dump the sugar in. Sugar will make a nice, really glassy color. And I have made low sugar pear jam, and that's actually quite good. I need to buy myself some low sugar pear pectin. Or just low sugar pectin, sorry. And my next batch will probably be low sugar. That way I can just eat it straight the way it is on waffles or yogurt. This is going to take a little while for the sugar to dissolve, and then come back to a full rolling boil and 1 full minute of boiling, and then I'll take it off the heat, stir it for a while, and put it in the jars. And this no longer looks like pear baby food. It's gotten very glassy colored. It hasn't started to boil yet. But here we have it, a full rolling boil. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. We have 23 seconds to go. We are off the heat. This doesn't look like it has any foam on it. So I'll stir it for about a minute, and then I'll pour it in the jars. I let them set out again for 24 hours. I'm freezing this. I'm not processing it. You can process it if you want to. I have enough room in my freezer, so that's what I do with my jams and jellies. These I will put up in pint jars instead of in 1 cup jars. I'm done stirring, so I'm ready to put it in the jars over here. It tends to make a little bit more than what it says. We'll see. This should fill these 3 jars perfectly. I'm using a 1 cup measure here. And fill it to that line. You leave a little room for expansion in the freezer. Well, I just found out the hard way that it tastes really good. Here's what happened. I don't know how this happened. I was tilting the pan over here to get some in, spilled some on my finger. It is really, really hot, so I licked it off and then I put my fingers under cold water. But hey, I found out it tastes good, and I don't think my finger's actually burnt. And there we have it. 3 pints and a little bit extra. That's probably enough for my nephew Tony if he comes back to Indiana again maybe next summer. So I'm going to have to make some more. Here are the pears we still need to pick. They're pretty good size. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, here, down here. Stan has boards that he puts up every year to prop the branches so they don't break. Pears are really dense and much heavier than apples. Yeah, we have some nice, really nice sized pears here.